Hey, church family, Pastor Ben here with the Church Scattered, a daily devotional to offer you encouragement and hope from God's Word. Have you ever had someone help you with a project? How good does it sound when they tell you it is finished? The project's done, it's completed, no more work to do. This happens to me a lot because I'm not very handy. I'm not good at fixing things, especially things like my car, but thankfully I have a good mechanic, someone that I trust. And so when he works on my car and tells me that it's done, it's finished, that's good news because I have zero ability to accomplish what he just accomplished. I have zero ability to fix my car, to make it work correctly. So it's good news. It would not be as good of news if he said, hey, I did half the work, but then you need to do the other half of the work. Or if he called and said, you know what, I looked at your car and I actually can't do any of it for you. That wouldn't be good news at all. Here's the reality about us as human beings. We are sinful. We're deserving of God's justice. We deserve to be separated from God forever. We have zero ability to fix this on our own. We can't make up for our sin by living a good moral life. We can't live a good moral life, a perfect life. We can't live up to God's standard. The Bible tells us that we all fall short of God's standard. We don't do what's right. We reject God and we live as if we're in charge of our own lives. But here's the good news. There is one who can fix this problem of ours, and he can do it all the way. And his name is Jesus. Jesus lived the perfect life that we can't live. Jesus died on the cross for our sin to pay the price, the penalty that we should pay for our sin to God. And he did this fully and finally. And that's good news. It says in John chapter 19, as Jesus is on the cross, right before he bows his head and gives up his spirit, right before he dies, he says, "It is finished." What he came to do, to die on the cross for sinful people like you and me, he did it all the way. It's finished. It's done. He didn't do half of it and then we make up for the other half with our good moral lives. No, he did it all. He did it all. And he was able to do it all because he was fully God and fully man, the perfect mediator between God and men. Hebrews 10:10 says, "By that we have been sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all." Romans 6:10 says, "For the death he died to sin once for all." So let me encourage you. Jesus paid it all. You can't do it, but he did it for you. It's finished. It's done. And you need to preach this truth to yourself every day. Otherwise, one of two things will happen. Either you'll start to become self-righteous because you think that by your good deeds, by your obedience, that somehow you're adding to you being made right with God, your justification. And you'll become arrogant and self-righteous and proud. Or you'll realize that you do mess up all the time. You do sin. You can't live up to God's standard. And you'll become totally depressed, buried under the shame and guilt of your sin. But when you realize that Jesus did the work, Jesus paid it all, that it is finished, and you trust in him alone to save you, there's no room to be proud. And then there's no need to be depressed because it is finished. That's good news.